Jamaica's national dish, vegan style. Check this out. Wagwan people, I get a request to do ackee and saltfish vegan style. So here we have some flour, and I added some baking powder and some salt, and I'm using a spoon to combine my ingredients. Just a disclaimer before you come and attack me and make you know say I don't like to make dumpling with my hand. I don't like the feeling, so hence me making my dumpling with a spoon. It'll come out the same way. It no matter if you want to do it with your hand or whatever, you can go ahead, but for me, me like it with the spoon, because me not have to worry about all that nastiness and gooiness when me have to take off of my hand. So yeah, and I will use my spoon to combine my dough so it all comes together. So the spoon would mimic like my hand, and I would use it to knead the flour to get that, to combine it so it becomes dough. And with the dough, me I go get fried dumpling. So yeah. So here it is kind of gooey and sticky, and I will add some more flour to make it, to stabilize it a bit so it's not as yucky, and you know, when you're actually making the dumpling it will like stick to your hand. I hate that, so I try to not make it too gooey. Some people, I guess they don't mind it, but for me, I don't like flour upon my hand. I'm not a fan of it. So yeah, so after we blend this, we're going to set it to the side and proceed to our can ackee. So here I'm using the can ackee because I run out of the regular one. I mean, I know nobody come up from Jamaica because of all COVID, so I can ackee I do it. So I did drain off the brine. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know how long it's been sitting in this brine, so I do reboil it for 10 minutes at least. And yeah, that's how we do it. So while my ackee is boiling, we'll proceed to doing my oyster mushroom. So this mushroom is my favorite one to make this dish, because it does mimic saltfish. Well, at the look of it, it does mimic it. The smell, it don't have that fishy codfish smell, but it do look like saltfish from afar and from near. So if you don't know say a thing that mushroom, you're not gonna know unless you come close and say, yo, what is it? Not taste like saltfish. And me tell you, say, yeah, mushroom. Yeah, that's how we do the thing. But I do try to rip it apart to mimic saltfish, because that's how them do saltfish. Them always rip it apart after them boil it. But I don't boil the mushrooms. I just, you know, rip it apart. And after I do rip it apart, I will wash them in vinegar water. And if you notice, I did not cut with a knife. I do rip it because I don't want that blunt look. So after I do wash them, make sure you squeeze them, because mushrooms on a whole absorb water. So squeeze like you squeeze out clothes. Yeah, squeeze out your rag. Yeah. So I add my seasoning and some water, which is 1 tablespoon of water, I think. You don't need a lot. So I do use a spoon to combine the ingredients, and I'll set that aside. So now we'll come back to the dough. And if you notice, let me say this, I am wearing a gloves on one hand only because I have a band-aid. And band-aid and flour, that not sound good to me. That just sound nasty. So I don't want the band-aid to touch up my dumpling when I go eat. So hence me with one hand of gloves. So here I'm telling you to combine your dumpling and make sure say you press them flat. So when you do fry them, it's not big and doughy. They will be light and airy. That's the goal. You don't want a big ugly dumpling like when we see the Jamaican restaurant them I make. Them they are not dumpling, them they are football. Big and ugly. Yeah, sorry. Let me get back to, you know, get back to the thing. But look how my dumpling look nice and golden brown. Almost golden brown. Them not reached there yet, but here's the finished product. Look at that. Why? Nice. All right, you know what, get it together, girl. So in the same pot, I did throw off some of the oil, so you know, not too much. So in the oil I added onion, bell pepper, scallion, and tomato. The tomato does give it a reddish color. Look at that, you get a nice like orange color. And I'm adding my oyster mushrooms that I had to the side, sitting and marinating, and just to let that go and cook a little bit and do its thing. And then we're gonna add our ackee. So when you add on the ackee, try not to mix too much, because if you mix too much, the ackee are gonna mash out, and you don't want it to be, you know, all gooey egg looking like. A lot of people say it has the texture of egg. To me, heck no. But you don't want it to be all mushy and gooey. So I am adding some black pepper, some red pepper flakes, and some cayenne pepper because I didn't have no hot pepper with me. So ackee, you need heat. Look at my nice ackee. This is a finished product which I'll be having with Jamaican chocolate tea, or otherwise known as cocoa tea.